y'all, welcome back to my channel, Dose of Ro. If you're new here, I'm Ro, and I'm here to give you all this content, okay? So, by today's title, we're going to be doing a video about 6 mistakes entrepreneurs should avoid while getting into business, or if you're already in business, some more tips you could take, right? So, I don't want this video to be too long. I want it to be very informative, and I don't want to ram-pack too many tips into one video. So I'm going to do about 6 tips, which is like, I feel like it's a good number. 6 tips to avoid, or mistakes to avoid while being an entrepreneur, right? So without further ado, let's get into the video and get straight to the point. The first mistake an entrepreneur should avoid is forgetting that there's competition. Like, there's competition everywhere. It could be up the block from you, down the block from you, around the corner, 5 miles away, 10 miles away. It could be in the next state. It could be anywhere. So you never want to forget that there's competition in this world while you're in a business or being an entrepreneur. There's a business everywhere you go. Looking down, I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I got everything I want to say and whatever. So you're not the only one doing what you're doing, basically, when I mean by forgetting that. Don't forget that there's competition. You're not the only one doing what you're doing. There's going to be somebody making glitter Starburst cups everywhere. Okay, so you want to make sure, and nothing against if you make glitter Starburst cups, it's okay. This is not me shading nobody. This is just me, like, using it as a preference or example. So you want to stand out. And what I mean by stand out is, like, find something that makes you a little bit different from Susan, who makes Starbucks cups all the time for 10 years. Find something different so you could, like, relate to your target market. You could, like, you know, just be different in some type of way, even though you're selling the same exact product. You can market your brand differently. Like, there's so many ways. Just don't forget that there's competition and find ways around it. So what I mean by find ways around it, I want you to analyze your target market and figure out what you're up against. Like, is Susan doing buy two get two free? Like, you gotta know what you're up against. You don't want to just do what you're doing, and when you don't get the feedback you want, you be like, damn, why am I shit not selling? And you're not analyzing what's around you. So when I started my business, I first started off as an olive oil company, and I figured that I don't want to, like, stick myself into that category that only sells olive oil. I know eventually I want to branch out and brand my company a little bit bigger and scale it bigger into, like, a home essential company, which I have been doing. So when I first started out, I looked at who makes olive oils, like what brands are doing the best, like what the creativity looks like, and I haven't seen an olive oil brand that could compare to mine, but I feel like I have certain attributes or certain characteristics of my brand that stands out. For example, I have flavor olive oil, which you don't see too often in grocery stores, or within my community. I feel like I don't see cilantro, lime, parmesan. I don't see that in my grocery store. When I go to my grocery store, I don't see that. So I feel like that's a plus for me. Even if you think that no one's doing what you're doing, you have the superb product in the world, nobody has it, unique. There's gonna be somebody out there. Like, I know that you could be the first to do something, but somebody's gonna come with something after you, and you gotta figure out how to keep your shit. Why keep cursing? You gotta figure out how to keep your product growing, cause it's not about who did it first. It's about who does it best. So I definitely preach, don't forget the competition. Topic or mistake you should avoid as an entrepreneur is not spending enough cash or spending way too much cash. So as an entrepreneur, it's most likely for you to run into the problem of money. If you're not a wealthy kid who has a trust fund and, you know, has wealthy parents, it's like, for me, money was definitely an issue starting my business. Like, I had to figure out, how am I going to start this company with no money? So I have a catering company, so I use funds from that business to fund my olive oil business, my home essential company. So while I was doing cakes and caterings and working for my mentor, I accumulated all that money, and then set it aside and pour it into another business. So that's how I started my business. But going back to spending enough cash or spending too much cash, like there's a saying, you gotta spend money to make money, which is obviously true because money makes the world go round. If you don't believe that, you should. So you gotta spend money to make money, and I don't believe in you have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to start a company. I feel like you could start a company just, with a solid amount. You wouldn't. It could be the higher end, it could be a lower end. You want to be right in that middle part where to start a company. So you want to, take account of your expenses and finances and learn how to enough, but not too much. Because, for example, you want to see where you cut costs. For me, I cut costs. So I want to do rent. For example, I want to do branded boxes for my company, my shipping boxes. I want to do branded boxes. But I was like, the cost for branded boxes right now is a little bit too high for me, and I don't feel like I'm there to get branded boxes yet. Yes, it's a dream of mine, and I hope to get there soon. But for me, the standard boxes, I use brown boxes or white mailers. Those two work pretty fine for me because I do like put my own stickers on them, so it can be somewhat branded, but my costs are pretty much low because I get my boxes from Uline, so it's pretty much a low cost for my packaging. So, but I pour most of my cost for packaging inside the box. Like I put like the little crinkle thingies. I put a nice bag in each bottle. Like I just make it really nice. It's because I can't do branded box of yet. So that's what I mean by spending enough money, but not spending too much money where you're not making it back to pour back into your company. If that makes sense, right? So on to the next mistake. Making bad decisions on cost. So relating back to what I just said about the last mistake and spending too much money, you don't want to make bad decisions on cost. Meaning, like, when funds are low, you don't want to resort to the cheaper option. That makes sense. Like, that's never a good idea. Like, what I mean by that, like, you never want to lowball your brand, make your brand look cheap. Like, that's a no-no. You never want to do that. Like, for example, I'm just going to use my brand as an example so you guys could, like, see where I'm going with this and stuff like that. So, with my brand, I project my brand as to be a luxury brand, like luxurious kitchen essentials, because I'm all about black girl luxury. So I like luxury items, and I feel like if you're gonna have luxury in life, every part of aspect of your home or life needs to be luxurious. So for me, I'm a chef. I want my kitchen essentials to be luxurious. It's like, that's it. But back to the subject is, don't go the cheaper route. Like, say for example, I use glass bottles. So mostly, all my products are pretty much glass. So I want, cause you know when you walk in, like you want to hear that. So you don't want to hear nothing like this. So for me, if I was to go backwards and use plastic bottles to bottle my alcohol, that would take a tremendous dip in my brand, and it will just be a loss because people think you're getting luxurious. You can get luxury from plastic. Like, it's just not. Fine down in a restaurant and they give you plastic forks, you can be like, what is this? Like, you're not gonna want to pay those hundreds of dollars for that meal if you're gonna serve me with plastic forks and plastic plates. Like, I could have got this at home. So that's what I mean by never go the cheaper route. If you feel like spending a little more will help your brand drastically, by all means do it. Like, if you feel like your brand definitely needs, let's say if you need to hire a marketer, if you feel like your brand needs that and it's definitely going to help your brand go for it. Like, don't take this tip and screw it the wrong way. Like, make sure everything you spend has a positive impact on your brand. You want everything you spend on your brand, you want to make it back plus more. So if you're spending all this money on certain things that you need for your brand and you're not making it back, then you need to reevaluate your spending costs and your expenses and stuff like that. So make sure you're spending wisely and make sure every purchase you make for your brand makes sense and it comes back to you, right? Because at the end of the day, for your company, you want your company to make money. For your company to be successful, you have to make money. Like, I hate when people say like, oh, money is not everything. Money is everything. Like, if your brand is not succeeding, that means you're not making any money. Like, I'm being absolutely real. Like, if your business is succeeding, then that means you're making money. But it all depends on what you do with that money, you know, to pour back in, or if you're gonna just spend it and blow it. It makes no sense. But like, for your brand to be successful, you have to be making some type of income for you to keep pushing your brand. But that's that. The next mistake I want to talk about is putting your product first. I know. You're probably thinking like, aren't you supposed to put your product first? Like, isn't that the whole purpose of being an entrepreneur, pushing your brand, pushing your service? Like, isn't that what we're here for? Yes and no. Or service come before your client or customer. That is a big mistake. Like, that's a no can do. You could have the most prize, the most grand, the best product in the world, but if you don't have that client to seller communication or relationship, how is your product going to sell? Like, who's going to buy your product if you don't have that relationship? You can't be so focused on selling your product, you have nobody to sell it to. So definitely a mistake. Also, when creating your product, determine your business model, right? Know that it's critical to put your customer first always. Like, you know, when they say customer is always right, customer is always going to be right. Like, no matter what you do in a situation, the customer always comes first. So you need to put your pride aside. And I'm gonna get into that in another mistake, so I don't go too deep in that. But just make sure you're putting your client first before your service or product. Caught up in making the money. When I said that money makes the world go round, yes. You need money to survive, yes. You need money for your business, yes. But don't get too caught up in that. You want to find a balance within that. Because sometimes when you get too caught up in making money and stuff like that, you forget that human side of the business. Business can be very tough and very serious. You don't ever forget that human side, that passionate side, that empathetic side of having a business, because that makes you. That makes your business relatable and profitable. So don't ever forget that. Mistake I want to go to is procrastination. Whew. Procrastination. People talk about this all the time. So this is one of the, not the biggest mistake, but it could be very hard in your business if you're a big procrastinator. Laziness. Whew. No business has survived on laziness. Like, I don't know not one person who is lazy in their business that's successful today. Like, I just don't know. Like, it's not gonna happen. So you want to make sure you're not lazy. If you're lazy, entrepreneurship isn't going to be for you. Like, you sleepless nights. I'd be up to like 4 a.m. Can't sleep because I'm thinking of what I could do, what videos I could create. Like, how can I grow my business? Like, I'd be up thinking this up, processing some thoughts and stuff like that. Like, so you gotta be proactive. Like, nobody's saying you gotta wake up at 5 a.m. Well, sometimes you do, but like, I don't like, I'm not gonna cap. I don't wake up at 5 a.m. Like, but I make sure I get what I need to get done within that day, what I have planned for that day, right? So if you find yourself being lazy or less connected to your business, you need to reevaluate your business and reevaluate if you want to continue entrepreneurship and if this is a path for you. Procrastination can lead to missing deadlines, not planning properly for deadlines. You fall behind, you never want to fall behind, because often when you fall behind, you just get left behind, and who wants to get left behind? Nobody, right? So my next and final mistake is the inability to accept failure or negative feedback, which is a big mistake entrepreneurs can make. Arrogant entrepreneurs bear so much confidence. When a customer gives them negative feedback, they don't know how to respond as a business owner. They respond as the human being that's deep down inside of them. And they forget to be professional. Professionalism is key. I understand some customers could be overbearing, they could be obnoxious, they could be all the letters in the books in the world. But as a business owner, you gotta come to them and remember that first rule: customer is always right. Unfortunately, you have to just take that step back and swallow that, swallow that apple. Like, just take it. I'm sorry, ma'am. We could do this, and that for you. And if this is not working for you, we could do this, that, and that. You want to make sure your customer never leaves your establishment or leave a bad review on you, I guess. You should be able to take constructive criticism from anybody who serves a purpose in your business or who has meant to give you constructive criticism. Because it could be Tom trying to tell you how to run your business, and Tom has no business etiquette, or he has no business experience. So how are you telling me how to run my business if you don't have a business yourself? But anyway, most business fail because of that. Like, who wants to deal with a nasty person? Like, I despise nasty business owners, because like, I feel like if you're a nasty person, how can you run a business? Like, no one wants to talk to you. Like, you have no respect for one. Like, it just wouldn't work. So I feel like if you don't have that professionalism, it won't work. So, and if you can't accept feedback, if Susan tell you she don't like her hair, and you feel like you did her hair to the T, and if she says she don't like it, she does not like it, and you need to fix it. In business, it's gonna come a time where you fail or you drop drastically. I've been there. I feel like almost every business owner been there, where you feel like you're at your lowest point. So failure in a business is really crucial, because it's all depend on, are you gonna kick back up, or are you gonna like brush your shoulders off and do what you gotta do, or are you gonna stay down and like pout and cry about it? I feel like if you're gonna pout and cry about it, like, there's a door. Like, entrepreneurship is not for you, because it get hard. You could fail more than one time. Like, you gotta keep getting back up and going. But if you know you don't have that inside of you, then don't even try to do entrepreneurship, because it's tough. And I'm not trying to strain nobody off their road to entrepreneurship, but it's definitely going to come. I don't know not one entrepreneur that failed drastically in their business. And yeah. Okay, so to end the video off, I just want to say, remember that there's always somebody out there doing something that you're doing. You're not the only one who has this type of business. You're not the one who does a service that you could do. Just remember that at any given moment, that someone could just come on by and take all your clientele, customers, and you'll be left with nothing. Like, just remember that you always at stake to lose something when running a business. You always want to provide a service to somebody, because if you can't provide it, somebody else will. Like, if you can't give them this kind of service that they want all around, like customer service skills, the service you're doing, you do it well. Like, if you can't give them all around service, they're going to find it somewhere else. Believe it or not, like, you're not the only one doing this out here. As I said, don't forget this competition. This competition is everywhere, and it's tough. Being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, you'll always be aware of all these things around you that's going around. And don't be oblivious, or what's the word? I can't find it right now, but just be aware of your surroundings and target markets, all the whole nine. Just analyze your business model and concepts, and make sure you're going to strive well. So this is the end of the video. I hope you guys like this video. If you want more content like this, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll definitely post more things, entrepreneurships, business-wise, and what sorts. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Turn your post notifications on so you notify every time I post another channel. And thank you for getting me to 50 subscribers. Like, so I'm super proud of that. Like, these are little small accomplishments I'm proud of, because I came from 0 subscribers to 50 subscribers. So I'm super proud of that. So yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.